My name is Dipti and I'm from HimiDipi-Sprachkultur. So why do we learn a language? We learn a language to communicate better and to feel integrated in a society. And sometimes we also need a language certificate, for which we need to write the exam. Exam. No, a language exam is not one which should give you sleepless nights. Rather, if you have been taking systematic language training right from A1, and if you have been actively engaging in the language atmosphere, then you should be able to write the exam successfully. In this video, rather in this course, we will be telling you about the 3 different types of exams which will enable you to attain the B1 language certificate. We will be telling you about the different components under each exam, and we will be most importantly sharing with you very important tips and tricks and methods which will help you prepare better for this exam. So, shall we begin? Los geht's! As you know, there are 3 exams which you can write in Germany to get the B1 certificate. The Goethe exam, the Telc exam, and the DTZ A2 B1 exam. In this video, we would like to tell you about the differences in these exams, and we hope that this can help you decide better which could be the right exam for you. So let's begin. Now, what is evaluated at the B1 level is whether you are able to communicate both in the written and spoken forms in different situations of daily relevance, such as at workplace, in government offices, while shopping, whether you can understand information, have a dialogue, or write letters on topics such as health, children, media, living situations, etc. Whether you can narrate about your own experiences in written and spoken form. Can you describe your goals? Can you give reasons to your aims and objectives, such as why do you want to live in a particular city? Why do you need a particular scholarship? And what is also important is whether you're able to apply certain fundamental grammar concepts properly. So, all these exams are divided into 4 parts: reading, writing, listening, and speaking. Let us begin by having a look at lesen, reading part in these 3 exams. Through reading comprehension, what is evaluated is whether you're able to understand different types of texts, such as newspaper articles on different events or interesting facts, readers' comments on different topics, informal emails, advertisements, instruction manuals, formal letters, registers, and catalogs. In all the 3 exams, the common exercise is of advertisements. You're given certain number of situations and certain number of advertisements or Anzeigen. Yeah? And you have to find out the most suitable Anzeige or ad for every situation. So no matter which exam, this task you definitely have to solve. In the Telc exam, you have 3 reading comprehensions and 2 fill-in-the-blank exercises or Aufgaben, which are called as Sprachbausteine, in which your language and your grammar is clearly tested. You have good 90 minutes for this entire part, which has 30 marks. So in the Goethe exam, you have 5 reading exercises or Aufgaben, and in DTZ, you have 4 plus 1, that is 4 comprehensions and 1 fill-in-the-blank exercise. Apart from the advertisement exercise, understanding instruction manuals or an information brochure is a compulsory part of the Goethe and the DTZ exam. Now, what we would like to say about the difficulty level in all the 3 exams is that it is actually the same. The level of language is the same. But you have only 3 texts and more time, that is 90 minutes in the Telc exam. And you have 4 shorter texts
and 45 minutes in the DTZ exam, and you have 5 texts and 65 minutes in the Goethe exam, which makes Goethe and DTZ, in our opinion, comparatively more challenging. Now let's look at the Hören, listening comprehension exam. Here again, there is a wide range of texts you listen to. Recorded formal information played on making phone calls to offices and stores, or announcements made in stores or train stations, news reports on weather, traffic, or other events in the city, instructions, for example, in a guided tour, comments on a certain social issue, dialogues on common topics between native speakers, and radio discussions. Now let us look at the differences. Again, in the Telc exam, there are 3 listening exercises, of which 2 Aufgaben or 2 exercises are played twice. In Goethe, there are 4 Aufgaben or 4 exercises, of which 2 are played twice and 2 are played only once. In DTZ, again, there are 4 Aufgaben or exercises, and all of them are played only once. Listening part is always a challenge, be it any exam, because the main aim here is to see if you can understand texts and contexts expressed by native speakers. And unlike in reading comprehension, you can revisit a part that you haven't understood. You cannot revisit a part that you haven't understood until now. Hence, a lot of practice is required. A lot of listening comprehension exercises must be done systematically, meaning where you read the exercises with concentration, underline keywords so that you can focus on them more while listening to the texts and imagine what you're reading. In our further videos, we will share tips with you on how to prepare yourself better for the Hören exam. You must have perhaps noticed that the DTZ exam is called DTZ A to B1 exam. That is because there is only one DTZ exam that is designed to determine whether your level is A2 or B1. Listening part is always a challenge, be it any exam, because the main aim here is to see if you can understand texts or contexts expressed by native speakers. And unlike in reading comprehension, you cannot revisit a part that you haven't understood until now. Hence, a lot of practice is required. A lot of listening comprehension exams or exercises must be done systematically, meaning where you read the tasks properly with concentration, underline the keywords so you can focus on them, especially while listening to the text, and imagine what you're reading. Make a picture in your minds of what you're reading. In our further videos, we will share tips with you on how to prepare better for the Hören exam. Now, you must have perhaps noticed that the DTZ exam is called DTZ A2 B1 exam. That is because there is only one DTZ exam that is designed to determine whether your level is A2 or B1. In the DTZ exam, Hören and Lesen are together for 45 marks. If you score 33 out of this 45, then you qualify for the B1 certificate, yeah? But if you score less than 33, more than 20 and less than 33, then you qualify for the A2 certificate. Let us now see the next module, that is Schreiben, the writing exam. Telc gives you a semi-formal writing exercise. In German, halbformeller Brief oder halbformeller E-Mail. There is an email given already, and you have to write an answer to it. So points are already mentioned, which help you formulate the email, and you have to write around 150 words, and or a little more is also fine. Since it is a semi-formal email writing, you are expected to write a slightly longer email, which is well structured. Now let's see the next module, Schreiben, the writing exam. Telc gives you a semi-formal writing exercise. In German, halbformeller Brief oder halbformeller E-Mail schreiben. There is an email given and you have to write an answer to it. Points are also mentioned which help you formulate the email, and you have to write around 150 or more words. Since it is a semi-formal email, writing a slightly longer letter, which is well structured, is expected. And 30 minutes is the allotted time for this exercise. In DTZ, you have a choice of 2 emails and you have to choose one and reply to it. Writing a complaint letter on a broken machine, for example, that is a Beschwerdebrief, complaint letter, or writing a letter to your teacher or course trainer or to your house owner are certain themes in the DTZ writing exam. You have 30 minutes time and you have to write around 80 to 100 words in these 30 minutes. You already see that Telc here is more challenging than the writing exam in DTZ because the email length is here double than that in the DTZ exam, but the time is the same. Now let's come to Goethe. In Goethe, you write 3 written texts, 1 formal letter for 80 words, 1 informal letter for 40 words, and 1 comment on a blog for 80 words. Total time given is 1 hour. Writing exam also needs a lot of prior practice because in the given time, you have to think about proper formulations, the content, about proper grammar, about a suitable structure for the text. And then at the end, also read your text once to correct mistakes, if any. So Telc here especially needs a lot of systematic practice because in lesser time, a longer but well-structured email is to be written. Final Schreiben recording. Now let's see the next module, that is Schreiben, the writing exam. Telc gives you a semi-formal writing exercise. In German, halbformeller Brief or email. There is an email given and you have to write an answer to it. Points are also mentioned which help you formulate the email, and you have to write around 150 or more words. Since it is a semi-formal email, writing a slightly longer letter, which is well structured, is expected. 30 minutes is the allotted time for this exercise. In DTZ, you have a choice of 2 emails and you choose one and write a reply to it. Writing a complaint letter, that is a Beschwerdebrief, on a broken machine, for example, or writing a letter informing about your absence, maybe to your course instructor, writing to your house owner, are certain themes in the DTZ exam. In 30 minutes time, around 80 to 100 words are expected to be written in DTZ. You already see that Telc here is more challenging than the writing part in DTZ because of the email length being double than in DTZ, whereas the time being the same. So let's now see the Goethe exam. Here you have 3 writing exercises. 1 informal letter for 80 words, 1 formal letter for Meller Brief for 40 words, and 1 comment on a blog written for about 80 words. And the total time is here 1 hour, 60 minutes. So writing exam also needs a lot of prior practice because in the given time, you have to think about the content, about the structure, how will you arrange your content, about the correct formulations, about proper grammar. At the end, you must also revisit your text and correct mistakes, if any. So Telc here especially needs a lot of systematic practice because in lesser time, a relatively longer but a well-structured text is to be written. And now let's see the last part of the exam, that is Sprechen. So you finished your reading comprehension, your Hören, and you've also written your text or texts. And now we come to Sprechen. Sprechen in all exams has 3 questions. And at a time, there are 2 candidates who give this exam together. In Telc and Goethe, you're given the questions 15 to 20 minutes before your exam starts. So you have 15 Minuten Vorbereitungszeit, preparation time. But in the DTZ exam, you have no preparation time at all. We must also know that in DTZ exam, the communication happens more between the exam candidate and the examiner, since the goal here is to find out if you can comfortably communicate with native speakers. In Telc and Goethe, the communication takes place more between the 2 exam candidates. So these 2 factors make DTZ Sprechen a bit more challenging. Okay, let's see how the 3 exams are different from each other. In Telc, the first part is Einander kennenlernen, the introduction round. On the basis of the points mentioned on your sheet, you're supposed to introduce yourself and also ask your partner about him or her based on those points. It is similar also in DTZ, but you don't need to necessarily ask questions to your partner in DTZ like in Telc. In Goethe, part 1 is gemeinsam etwas planen. That is, you have a topic such as planning a party together, planning exam preparation together, planning an outing or a hospital visit together. The aim here is to see if you can communicate in a friendly way with another person, have some agreements, some disagreements, but at the end, meet a consensus and plan a small event. This is a common part in all the 3 exams. In Telc and DTZ, this is the last part of the speaking exam, yeah? Gemeinsam etwas planen. Part 2 in Telc is Gespräch über ein Thema. In DTZ, this is called über Erfahrungen sprechen. So you and the other candidate get the same topic, but each one has a different picture or a different text on that same topic. On the basis of that picture or text, you talk about your own experiences and your opinions on that topic. Whereas in Telc, this happens as a dialogue between 2 candidates. In DTZ, the candidate narrates his experiences or her experiences and opinions and answers mainly to questions asked by the examiner. Let's come to part 2 in the Goethe exam. That is called ein Thema präsentieren. Here you will have a topic like school system or transportation or fashion, any topic of social relevance, and you will be given a structure with 5 points. You're expected to make a mini presentation of around 3 minutes on the given topic. And the third part in the Goethe exam is answering the questions that the other candidate asks you on your presentation and asking questions and giving feedback to the other candidate on his or her presentation. Yeah. So the third part in Telc and DTZ is, as previously mentioned, gemeinsam etwas planen. Yeah, having a discussion and planning a small event. But the third part is in Goethe is giving feedback and asking questions on each other's presentations. Now, at the B1 level, you must be able to speak about your own experiences. Describe how things are in your home country related to a certain topic. Give your opinions on particular topics. In the A2 level, we were describing pictures, giving information, asking for information. But in the B1 level, we now go a step further and we talk about our opinions, what we think and what we feel.